My name is Gracie Santos-Guce, and I am the owner of Gracie's Pies and also the co-founder of the Palenque National. So my dad came to the United States through the Navy. So the Navy actually paid, the US Navy paid for my dad to go to college in California. So that's how he was able to immigrate to the US and bring my mom along because they were married. That was in the 70s, so during the Marcos regime. So I have an older sister who's 7 years older than me, and I had a younger brother who passed away about 5 years ago, and he was 7 years younger than me. So I am smack in the middle, or I was smack in the middle. Now I'm the bunso. Yeah, I went to high school in 2 different states. So I actually started high school in Maryland, in Silver Spring, Maryland. And then I moved in the middle of high school to go to University High School in Irvine, California. And they're very, very different. Like the coasts, from West Coast to East Coast, I'd say the East Coast is much more diverse, I guess, in my experience. And yeah, growing up as a Filipino American, I didn't really see other Filipino Americans like me. So I felt very much alone culturally. Yeah, my parents don't speak to me in Tagalog or Ilocano. So it was my mom who spoke Tagalog and my dad who speaks Ilocano, and they never taught us any of the language because they wanted our English to be perfect. And they wanted their English to be perfect as well. So there wasn't a lot of speaking Tagalog in the home at all. But I also understand where my parents were coming from, like, you know, English and just the putting on the pedestal of American culture and language. Like I understand that piece of it, but I'm sad and I'm angry that I can't speak Tagalog. I just never learned. I understand most of it. Like there's some things that I don't understand, and that frustrates me actually, because I'm like, I should understand all of this. Like this is my language. Like why don't I understand all of it? So I started the Palenque National with Jennifer to really focus and highlight the Filipino American culture in Seattle, because this is where we are. You know, like let's celebrate it. And we called it the Palenque. We put that word "the" in there to point out the Taglish that most Filipino Americans speak. It's "the" in English and "Palenque" in Tagalog. So the Palenque, it's a Taglish way of saying the market. And I think that's really important for us because, well, Jennifer speaks Tagalog. She actually speaks Ilocano. Jennifer, my partner for the Palenque National, but I don't speak a lick of Tagalog or Ilocano. And I just wanted to put something in our name that points to the fact that not every Filipino American speaks Tagalog. One thing that I like to do with Gracie's Pies is to incorporate Filipino flavors. So I've done pies like cassava langka, and I've done chicken adobo pot pie, and I've done, you know, peach mango to sort of give an ode to Jollibee. And I think that's really important for me with my business to highlight Filipino American flavors so that I can tell the stories of the origin of those dishes to people who may not know about Filipino cuisine or Filipino culture. And another thing I like to do is get tattoos. I like to get ink from Filipino artists. So at the Needle Lounge in Lakewood, shout out to Renmel and David Baisa. There are 2 Filipino artists in Lakewood who do a really amazing job. I got some Filipino tribal and the word kapatid here, which means sibling. These Filipiniana terno sleeves, it's just a traditional Filipina garb. And I actually bought this for my wedding. I wore it at my wedding reception, and my husband wore his barong Tagalog. My husband is Filipino. He's an immigrant, so he was born in the Philippines, in Batangas, and he lived there until he was 6 years old. So he actually remembers a lot of what was going on with the Marcos administration during that time when he was little. And we actually, as a couple, we joined Malaya, which is a community organization that fights for human rights in the Philippines. So aside from the Palenque National, aside from Gracie's Pies, my husband and I participate in Malaya and do a lot of organizing with Malaya. I think that my perspective on what success means makes me Filipino. Like, what makes me successful is not money or cars or prestigious jobs or anything like that. It's more about family life. It's more about being happy with my husband, being happy by myself. I think my perspective on success is something that makes me truly Filipino. I mean, everyone talks about resiliency, but I think it goes beyond resiliency and more of self-reliance. I think it's important for me personally to learn more about our history. I don't know a lot about Filipino history because Filipino-American history is not taught in schools. I was reading something about Filipino-American history lessons being taught in schools, maybe 3 different schools in the near future. And I think that everyone should know where they come from. I think that grounding, that sense of feeling grounded is really important. Carlos Bulosan, because I read America is in the Heart, and I just want to know what his life was like. I want to ask him what he was thinking during those stages when he had to stay in the hospital and he was reading, you know, all the famous authors, and how he, without speaking the language, was able to write so beautifully in English. And also his work in workers' rights. I want to know more about that from his mouth. I'm gonna cheat and say 2 for number 2. Either Sharon Cuneta or Lea Salonga, because I sing their songs all the time at karaoke. So I just wanna like sing a song with them and like record it and treasure it forever. And then number 3 would be Leylah Fernandez, because I'm really into her tennis right now. I bought her shoes, or my husband bought me her shoes. I guess to my kababayan, I would say, take it from me, you can do literally anything you put your mind to. I mean, the Palenque National was just an idea, and I made it happen with Jennifer. And I feel like if you can find people who can support you in your dreams, and you believe in those dreams yourself, you can literally do anything you want. Mabuhay Pilipinas!